Yeah, you can start now.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jackson. Today I'm going to be looking at the topic is PHP dead? And then I'm going to try to make it as fun and as educative as possible. Please, I just want to confirm, can everyone hear me clearly?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can.
All right. It's PHP dead, and then this is more like a resurrection story, because I know this narrative I've been running a lot. There's this hate on the programming language PHP for the syntax and then for a lot of other reasons. So that is what we are going to be looking at in today's conversation. So many have argued and then many have moved on from PHP, and then we're going to be exploring why and if this program is actually dead. But then before we even look at the conversation, the entire conversation, what is even PHP, especially for those that do not know PHP and its functionalities. So what is PHP? PHP stands for Hypertext Preprocessor. And what this means is that it is a server-side programming language that is unlike HTML and
Am I the only one that is not hearing him again?
No, we can't hear him again.
We can't hear him.
Okay. Maybe network issues. So, Jackson, if you can hear us, your network or your audio device, we cannot hear you right now. Okay, he has left.
Hello, sorry, I was disconnected.
All right.
Okay,
Wow.
yes. I think I stopped at open source. I was trying to explain what open source means. It means that the language is available for anyone and everyone that has the resource and the experience to manipulate it to fit their goal. And then PHP is very powerful to the extent that even Facebook and Wikipedia and then WordPress, they use this programming language a lot. So then why was with all the aids, and then why are we even having this conversation in the first place? If Facebook is using this language, if Wikipedia is using this programming language, if WordPress is using this programming language, so what is all this fuss about? Why are we even having this conversation in the first place? So we are just going to look at the villain story, why everyone hates, or why most people actually, why most developers, they have one form of bias towards the language. So these are some of the reasons why people would consider it a dead language. For one, it is older than me, in the sense that PHP is actually about 27 years. It's 27, yeah, about 27 years old. So it is a pretty old language compared to more recent languages that you can run on server like Node.js, Express, and the likes of it. So it is a pretty old language. And then there's this shiny new syndrome among developers. There's always this new technology, there's this new stack that is out, and everybody just wants to rush to it. So the older a programming language is, sometimes that's how fast developers tends to forget about it. And then it has speed and performance issues, especially when it comes to very high traffic. And when it has to deal with large data, there's usually lag and then some performance issues. There's also the issue of security vulnerability, because PHP is also vulnerable to SQL injection, in the sense that if you want to fill a form and then if your website is not properly secure, or if you do not know how to protect your form, there are black hat hackers, just like Mr. Alex was explaining to us in one of the KD recently, that they can just hack your system, and that is one of the areas they can use to go into your company or your website. And then for scalability, people have argued also that it is not very scalable, which takes me back to my former points, in the sense that it cannot handle millions of data per second. So, and then the last one is, it is a loosely typed language, in the sense that for PHP, you can use like 5 different ways to achieve one result. And so it just makes you feel like you don't know what you're doing. Or when you're reading through code and then you're seeing like what you know is not what this person is knowing. So it makes sometimes collaboration difficult, because what everyone should have just used, like everybody's using different things, but at the same time you're getting the same result. So sometimes it affects collaborations. So the PHP Defender is here. I'm here to tell everyone that PHP is not actually dead, and then we are going to be looking at some of the reasons why I share this opinion. So here's my defense. Why PHP is not dead. So PHP powers about 70% of the total websites in the world with programming language. I mean, if PHP is powering 70%, that is a lot. And why would you say something that is 70% is dead? It cannot be dead. Then PHP can be used with other languages such as C#, C++, the most popular one, of course, HTML and CSS. And then PHP is also available on all operating systems. If you're using Linux, if you're using Windows, if you're using Mac, you just have to install PHP and then you're good to go. So it supports a lot of different operating systems. And PHP is great with e-commerce websites and then content management system. So if you're running a warehouse, if you're running a school, if you're running a university, PHP is like one of the sweetest and easiest language to implement for industries like this. And PHP has a large community of developers that is always willing to help. I mean, if you run into issues, you can always reach out to Mr. Denka, and he's always willing to help. So there's like a lot of people that uses the language, and then they're always willing to help, because it is an old language. So there are a lot of people actually using it and that wants to help you with it. And then PHP is easy to learn because of its simple syntax and readability. I think most of the backend developers, even at Beacon, they started with PHP. And I even got to know when we had our end of the year party, almost everyone. Which language did it? Oh, PHP. I was a PHP developer, As long as it's backend, maybe not mobile app and front end, but for backend developers, most of them started with PHP. So let's see how popular is PHP. PHP is the most used language in Beacon. I know that because I've worked with Mr. Adekai for a bit, and it is what powers our LMS and most of our websites. So PHP cannot be dead because that is what powers most of Beancom's websites. And it is the most popular language for the web. So thank you. And I hope with this few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that PHP is not a dying language, as it is one of the most popular language for the web, and it is still being used today.
Well, I am not confused. I'm not convinced. Like.
All right. All right.
Please ask your question. I mean, if Beancom just think about it. If Beancom should be using PHP, why should you not be convinced? Why are we not using other languages? That's one reason why you should be convinced.
If Beancom is using it does not mean that it's simple now.
I'm telling you, because you first finish the PHP before you even come and praise it. You just I can't respect that language. No offense.
Are you in tech team?
I'm not even in tech team. I'm just saying I have no respect for the language right now. The fact that we're almost the same age is annoying me.
Yeah, PHP.
It's not the only language now. What about C is older than PHP and is still relevant?
No,
Yes,
please,
PHP
what
is
other types
also-
of back-end language do we have again so I can know to run away from PHP?
For scripting language, for scripting backend language, I think the other one should be Node.js.
Should be what?
Node.js.
Okay.
Mr. Michael, please can you help? Am I correct?
I'm not a backend developer.
Yeah, but I think Node.js is actually backend and you can use it for scripting also. So
Yeah,
don't
Node.js is backend.
Nice.
So
Node.js is
please-
backend.
Okay, so please, if you have questions and if you think PHP is dead, please come up with your defense. PHP Defender is here.
PHP Defender.
That's
Please,
my goal for today.
Jackson, please turn on your camera. Let's see the Defender, I beg.
I beg, let us see this Defender. Whether I saw where they keep.
Why is my camera not working? Yeah.
It must come up. Let us see this Defender.
Let me see. Maybe if I stop sharing, I'll share it back again.
But you still have not answered the question. Why is PHP? Why do you appraise it so much? Aside from the fact that Beancom is using it, and then aside from the fact that Beancom is using it, and then it's old, at least you've mentioned some disadvantages, e.g.
Yes.
collaboration.
Yes.
Collaboration being difficult, SQL injection, not just SQL injection, it goes beyond that. Even code injections itself, they can go into the main code, sabotage a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So why should we use PHP? Aside from this one we are having here, something else.
Okay, why we should use PHP?
Yeah.
Because for a lot of industries like the LMS, if you're running e-commerce, if you're running e-commerce, if you're running like any learning platform, the most go-to language is actually PHP. I mean, it powers 70% of the web, so that should tell you how relevant and how important it is. For me personally, the reason why I enjoy PHP and why I've chosen to defend PHP today is because it is the first language I ran to when front end was stressing me. And then when I came here and I just fell in love. I mean, like it is readable, it is easy to implement, it is even Itoan can just read through and they should understand what is there. She doesn't need to like actually
My dear, I didn't come to this world to suffer. I came here to enjoy.
I can show you those signals, and you read through it, you'll be able to understand what is going on. Just how simple, how sweet PHP is. So you can, if you're someone that is, if you're even a front-end developer, if you work with JavaScript, when you switch over to PHP, it shouldn't be so difficult. You will actually enjoy working with it.
I believe you.
The PhD defender.
Sorry, I have one question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please. I want as much question as possible.
Oh, okay.
So that after today, this conversation will happen again.
All right. This E, was it developed by Chinese? Because it's
the creator of PHP.
no, okay. Where's the guy from?
He's not from Africa.
I believe you from Africa before.
What do you mean? You can have Africans doing it now. What are you guys doing? Are you not going to? You guys are going to be the change.
Remember, this programming language was as far back as I don't know. So an African can surely not do it. At that time, no way.
Actually, the person that even created PHP, I've forgotten his full name now. It was just playing around. He needed a way for him to organize his own website. So that is how it came about PHP. So it was not even maybe like a company or it was one big project. So just a personal project, and then he was exploring, and then just decided to create PHP. Please, if there are questions in the chat box, okay, let me check.
So, sorry, what are the current use cases of PHP?
Okay, I've mentioned that before, but I'll go right again. For WordPress, PHP is very relevant. In fact, the entire WordPress architecture is powered by PHP. So if you have ever used any WordPress websites before, such as the Beacon Dev Center, and some other projects within Beacon, they use PHP. Our LMS is powered by PHP. Wikipedia is powered by PHP. Facebook itself is powered by PHP. My personal website is powered by PHP.
All right. Thank you very much, Jackson. We have Yemisi waiting for our own presentation as well. So it's about time now. So you can start. You can stop sharing your screen now while Yemisi comes.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for defending PHP with me.
Hi.
I don't defend it too.
Yeah.
Okay. So the
Thank you,
PHP
Jackson.
defender, you're done. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. The KD session was interesting today. So I'm going to try to share my screen now. Can everyone hear me?
I hear
We
you.
can hear you.
By the grace of God.
And by the grace of God. Okay, no problem. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. I've confused myself. Okay. Oh, okay. Now I see what's going on. Oh, wow. So everyone can see this topic, but
Yes, we can.
okay. So good day, everyone. My name is Yemisi, and I'm here to make a presentation on AI-generated synthetic media, also known as deepfakes. So right now, I'm trying to get this thing out of full screen mode because I can't see this thing properly.
Escape.
Escape? No,
Yes.
not the presentation, like this slide that has the video.
Okay.
I'm trying to get it out of it. Anyway, we'll try going like this, sure, because it's still affecting it.
Okay. Maybe you can start from the second slide.
Okay. Anyway, so what we'll be talking about, we'll be introducing the concept of synthetic data and deepfakes, the various types of deepfakes and the uses of deepfakes. So the first is the introduction. Synthetic data are data generated by artificial intelligence algorithms. So they are data generated by AI models that have been trained using original data. So the model that have been trained using the original data is now able to generates new data points that is similar in characteristics and patterns to the original data. So that's just like the preamble. Then we'll be going to deepfakes. Deepfakes are synthetic media in which a person existing a person in an existing media is replaced with someone else's likeness. An example is the YouTube video that is here. I found this video, a deepfake video of Queen Elizabeth dancing. I don't know when it came out, but it was really funny to watch. We can watch it together. It talks about how we shouldn't always believe what we see. I don't know if we can see it, Sha. I'm going to skip this entire part, but this is where we'll start from in this video.
My moves for TikTok. In fact, there's something I'm rather excited to share with you all. I'm under strict orders from Philip not to, but as he's nodded off in front of Home Alone 2, would you mind awfully? You'll have to move that camera back. Everyone ready? If that doesn't get me on Strictly, I don't know what will. Thank you. So much of our world today comes to us through these screens. Which brings me back to that question of trust, of whether what we see and hear is always as it seems. On behalf of myself, your Queen, and all at Channel 4, I trust you will have the very merriest of Merry Christmases.
So this video is just an example of, it's an example of a deepfake video. And it was quite interesting how much AI has progressed, in which you can make an entire video impersonating yourself as someone else, and it is like very difficult and almost impossible to detect. So we're going into the various types. This is a video on how deepfake works. I do know that my explanation can be a little bit confusing, so I grabbed this video from YouTube, which like gives a very simple and probably goes into a little bit deep more into like the definition of deepfakes and how it works. So I'm going to play it now.
Ever wondered what are deepfakes? How do they work? And what can we do to protect ourselves against deepfakes? My name is Sean Batir, and this is Tech Explained. So, a deepfake is a photo, video, or audio recording that you might think is real, but is actually not because it was manipulated using AI. You may have seen this on TikTok, Instagram, or even YouTube, where the tool was used to replace human faces, manipulate facial expressions, and create entirely new faces and speeches that have never been seen before. I guess you've heard about the viral Tom Cruise TikTok videos, which were actually made by a video creator from Belgium. He made these realistic TikToks by combining traditional CGI and visual effects with deepfakes. And if you haven't seen that, then you might actually remember some of your friends and family putting their faces on celebrities with the Ukrainian app Reface AI. It created some pretty creepy lifelike outputs that let you, for a hot minute, become Wonder Woman or Taylor Swift. The root of why this technology is so lifelike stems from its use of generative models, which try to learn the
Oof, sorry about that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, apparently that is refusing to work now. I know. We'll go to the next. That'll be types of deepfakes. So I listed 5 types of deepfakes here. The first one is face swapping. Face swapping is when one person's face is replaced or reconstructed by another person's face or key features from another face. An example is these pictures here. The one of Hillary Clinton and this, I hope she's an actress, I don't know who she is. And then they swap their faces and you can see the eyes of the celebrity on Hillary Clinton here, and this as an output. The next one is puppeteering. Puppeteering is rendering manipulated full body actions and behaviors using AI by creating a 3D model of the target face or body in a video to act or say as puppeteer. This is an example. These are 2 individuals who are able to create this deepfake video of Mona Lisa and this other European guy in the painting where they're moving around. The next one, lip sync. Lip sync is a technique to render mouth movements and facial expressions to make the target distance with their voice and the right tone or pitch. For example, is that deepfake video. The lip sync, the lip of the original individual in the video and then Queen Elizabeth were synced together. That's just like an aspect of deepfake there. That can be like a whole audio on its own. Next one is voice cloning. Voice cloning is a deep learning algorithm that takes in the voice recording of an individual to generate synthetic voice that is overly like the original voice. Imagine me speaking now, and rather than it being my voice, let it be like someone like Peter Obi's voice you're hearing, but it's actually the words I'm saying. So that is voice cloning. And then we have image synthesis. Image synthesis is a technique that uses computer vision technology and deep learning and AI models to synthesize new images of a person or any object that is not real. These images, I got it from this person does not exist.com. So that website has uses it has a model that generates new images of people. These are fake images, then the people in these images do not exist. It generates these images because it's trained with actual real human beings pictures, and then is able to generate these images. And then we'll go to the uses of deep fakes. So these are the positive uses. The first one is that they are used to make much more realistic movies at a cheaper cost because it is easier to use the deep fakes, to do deep fakes. And then because of how far, first of all, it is using AI, and second, how far technology has come. Second, the synthetic media are used to power personalized assistive navigation apps. Third, deepfakes are used to help educators deliver innovative lessons that are more engaging and traditional. Sorry, that are more engaging than traditional and media formats. For example, now, assuming it wasn't me delivering this, what they call it, this session, assuming it was someone else that is popular. Let's say, okay, so since we're in the political season now, I imagine it was someone like Atiku Abubakar delivering this, or let's say we want to go crazy and then use the Mona Lisa to deliver this. It would be really weird, but it will be something we'll remember. Fourth, deepfakes are used to simulate and model synthetic human anatomy, sophisticated industrial machinery, and complex industrial projects. The gist of this number 4 is that you can use the deepfakes to model human anatomy. Then number 5 is in the video gaming industry, AI generated graphics and imagery can accelerate the speed of game creation. And then these are just the positive uses. There are so many more. We'll go to the malicious uses of deepfakes. First of all, deepfakes makes it easier to make convincing fake media leading to disinformation. Right now, with the election stuff, now imagine a deepfake video of Peter Obi comes where he says something that implicates him, and then people actually think it's really him because it really looks like him. So it can lead to disinformation in that situation. It has happened so many times in the US politics. I've not seen it happen in Nigeria yet. Probably it will, we don't know yet. So number 2, deepfake can cause short and long-term social harm as it may accelerate the already declining trust in media. So using the example I gave before. Assuming they now came out to say that, okay, that is a deep fake video, and then they were able to prove that that was a fake video, then that can lead to declining trust in videos we see, because it won't always be, oh, the video we see is legit proof. There can always be this argument that it was a deep fake video. So people will no longer trust videos and media as much as they used to before, because it is not a certainty anymore. And then number 3, deepfakes are used to impersonate identities of persons to facilitate fraud. So someone can pretend to be you. Okay, so for example, someone, let's say I have a lot of videos of me online now, and then someone was able to make a deepfake video of me making some sort of video call to my parent and asking for money using their own account. The person was able to commit fraud, God forbid, on my parents using my own using a deepfake video. So it can aid that, it can lead to that one happening. So this is the end of my presentation. It isn't long. I was supposed to show how deepfake works, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that working in time for this presentation. So I hope this presentation was all right. If we have any questions, we can ask. Thank you.
So if you have any question, let's ask. I
have a question. Like, first of all, I want to say wonderful presentation. I enjoyed it and I'm grateful for the knowledge. But yeah, the question I want to ask, when you were listing the positive uses, you're number 2 on the list of positive uses. Can you expatiate on that more? The rest I got, but number 2 I didn't really get.
So okay, so the reason why I didn't expatiate is that I haven't exactly like found a example, but like synthetic, like navigation apps, let's just say, okay, wait, I think I have one. That would be accessibility apps now. That would be on your phone. There is a settings that allow that if you can't see properly, it reads out whatever it is you type on, so you can know what you're typing on. So synthetic media, they are like fake voices. For example, on Microsoft, you can do text to speech. Not even only on Microsoft concept. On a lot of things, you can do text to speech. So I think that, I'm not sure if that explanation is current enough, but that's where I'm at right now. And navigation,
no problem.
Yeah.
And I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry, continue. I thought you were done.
Oh no, you can ask a question.
Okay. My question is, how with the negatives, because for me the negatives is there's a noisy background somewhere. I don't know. Anthony, I think it's coming from your background though.
Okay.
So with the negatives are, should I say, they are very disastrous. Do you see it in the future, there to be policies
against deepfake?
Yeah, against it, either for it or against it. But do you see policies actually being implemented around deepfakes? Maybe a specific set of companies only allowed, or there will be regulations to limit the use of deepfakes, especially in the public space?
So there are some what they call the applications that they usually try to detect deepfakes. Policies around deepfakes, that is because of the way technology is right now. It's not necessarily like, especially new technologies like this, necessarily controlled or tried to be capped by the government. So policies around, like, against it, it's not necessarily, it's because it's so difficult, because I would say that there are detection, there are ways, there are apps that try to detect it, but it is already getting so good that those AI created to detect it are not even able to detect it. So detecting it is even an issue on its own. I feel like the best thing they can do is that when they discover that a video is a deep fake and is causing misinformation, they try to like block it. Maybe there can be a policy about that. And then they try to like say, if they now catch the person that is behind the deep fake, they can like try to make it illegal to use deepfake for what they call it, for misinformation. That's the thing that I can see, because they can't ban the thing entirely, because it can still be useful. For example, now I just even remember this example. This is like going to be like an answer to Ms. Towan's questions. Like someone that has lost her voice now, if she's able to get recordings of the voice, and then they are now able to like create some sort of device that uses that when the person talks, rather than using a fake computer voice, they can now use the person's voice. Maybe there's some sort of machine. Deepfake can be useful for that kind of scenario. So they can't like necessarily ban deepfake, but they can like try to limit the malicious uses of deepfakes. Did that answer your question?
It's actually better than other question. But to have a question, let me give her the room to ask her question.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to ask, because like I know that I'll probably need deep fix, but not for the negative, whatever. Do you need to know how to code, or how exactly, I wish the video was able to play? Like, is there any coding element, or is just something that we can use softwares or apps?
So there are softwares that try to, what they call it, are trying to do make deepfakes. Like there are some softwares, if you go online there, but you probably do need, it's not necessarily coding that you need, because it's a model, it's an AI. You probably need to know how your computer graphics work. You know, if you know like all these, how to make a video, like a professional videos, how the graphics works and so on, then you'll be able to make a deepfake. You don't need to learn how to code. There are applications that can help with that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Let me simplify this. You can just search online. There are a lot of software you can download, then use it. Then all you just need is to just read about it and see how it works. It's very simple, and there are many of them out there.
Thank you.
That concerns coding is not a plan.
No, we are not called for that. And someone was asking a question in the chat box. So.
Oh, okay, let me check.
Okay, maybe I should read it. He said, maybe I missed out. What is the specific objective? Anthony, sorry, your background.
Okay.
Thank you. So the person asks, maybe I missed out. What is the specific objective of deepfake usage? Is it legal or illegal? Because you mentioned impersonation.
Actually, it is not illegal to use deepfakes right now, but there are probably laws in place about impersonation, probably not in the technological sense. So that's the impersonation part, I'm not sure, but to use deepfakes is not illegal to use deepfakes. Deepfakes is like, at least to me, the way I understand it is a technology that came into place that is new. The government hasn't really looked into it. And people, when they want to find a solution, maybe they have a problem and they want to find a solution, they discover that deepfake is the one that can solve that problem, and people use deepfakes.
Then I think it should be limited to the maybe hospitals and maybe government agencies like maybe FBIs and all that.
Yeah.
Please, can I say something?
Yes. Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Deepfake is just like normal enhancement. It has been in the system for a very long time. Just take a look at voices. When musicians are producing music, so they enhance their voices, they make this thing more appealing to public and all that. So it's just the same method, but it depends on the usage. Everything that we produce, people use it for positive or negative, depend on the type of people that have the tools that use it, depend on the idea. But it's generally not a bad thing, but it depends on the usage. So I don't think government will ban it or anything. It has been in the system for a very long time, but it's not the kind of another method, another way, the way we advance it now and how we use it that make it more like attract too much attention and all that. So that's the way I see it.
Yes, Mr. Patrick is right. But then again, I feel our government do not have to ban it. is banning it is not the problem. I feel like making it a crime to like make a deepfake video of a person when ruining the person's reputation. Then
Exactly.
probably that can be a crime. But then
Exactly.
again, this presentation is also a warning, a little bit of warning to all of us that things are not what they seem. For example, that Queen Elizabeth video dancing, when I first saw it, I was like, what's going on here? Why is she dancing on top of a table? But of course, it was obvious that it was deep fake because she's dancing on top of a table. She's old, she can't move like that. So that
our mama is not strong.
I even recently I saw a lot of I think I read about some software that people now use to detect deepfake medias.
Yeah,
So,
but
okay.
it is good though, but it's like cyber security. The more you detect a vulnerability, the more hackers are
Exactly. We can't escape that.
okay.
But there are software too.
All right, we are way beyond time right now. I know we enjoyed the session today. Actually, the two topics are really interesting, and the facilitators are amazing people as well.
Thank
Jackson,
you.
Thank you.
Jackson and Yemisi, you guys did a very wonderful job. So it's about the time to end the session this morning. And I want to appreciate every one of us that are available for this presentation, for this session today. You guys are amazing. Thank you for joining up. We'll continue from here tomorrow. So Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.